This is Heavy Conversation with Bruce and Jody, a podcast where we talk about being a big guy in today's world. I'm Bruce. And I'm Jody. Here we go.
Here we go.
All right, we go. All right, here we go. Okay, Bruce, I want to know what podcast you're listening to because we're doing a podcast and I listen to a number of them to and from work. Sure. So I'm just kind of wondering what kind of things you're listening to, what's in your ear lately.
Yeah. So I'd like to say that all I listen to is Heavy Conversation all the time.
Every day,
over and over
from work, over and over. I just love listening to myself.
Yeah. My commute is very short, so it's
yeah. How do you that would take a long time to even listen to an episode.
It would,
going from upstairs down to your office.
Right. So for me, I listen a lot in the shower. I turn the
I know.
phone
I'm like,
on.
wait, you have your earbuds in? That's how I listen. So I was like, wait, what?
There's a rail on the top of our shower door, and I can set the phone there. So
you're more courageous than I am. I don't even.
Yeah. My
phone stays on the counter.
Well, they say that these new iPhones are water resistant, so I figured I'd put it to the test.
Okay. Yeah.
So, So I listen in the morning, and then I listen at lunch. If I'm driving anywhere, then I definitely will throw one on.
Yeah.
It's just nice to be able to kind of do that. I think back in the day when I had a regular commute, I certainly listened, to and from work. It was very nice to be able to do that. But now I just kind of fit it in when I can.
Right. Yeah.
Because I can't listen to podcasts and work because I can't focus.
Yeah.
Unless I have music, and even in that case, I have to have certain kinds of music to be able to work.
Yeah. I tried to listen to podcasts and work out. That doesn't work because it's not. I need my pump up the jam kind of music.
Right.
And I can't work on bearskin stuff or whatever because it's I listen to stuff that I need to be paying attention. They're talking about something I'm interested in, or they're teaching me something. So it's I can't be doing really anything.
Right.
Yeah.
So
what's on your regular rotation?
So I listen to a number of podcasts.
Pull out your phone and see what you got.
Yes, I need to look at my phone here to see. A lot of what I listen to are a similar format to kind of what we're doing here, or their interview format.
Okay.
I've certainly listened to the startup podcast, some of those different things where they're telling stories. And those are fine. But especially I guess in the last year or two, I've really been focused on interview format kind of stuff. And I think that has always kind of been something I've been interested in. I think maybe goes along with with my career, my job,
right?
Interviewing and things like that. So, what am I into right now? Let's see here. So I'll just kind of go down the list. I've deleted a bunch of things because one of the things is you can collect podcasts and just never listen to them. You know?
Every once in a while I'll go back to listen and they're not interested anymore. And I'm like, wait, I just listened to that.
So, let me start with, I will also say that I don't really listen to body positive podcasts or anything that's kind of in this realm.
I haven't found one other than Heavy Conversation that, I've tried a number of them, but
the one
not on a regular basis. I don't.
The one exception to that is Zach Miko's podcast. Big Things with Zach Miko.
It kind of depends on who he's talking to, and
he's for me, I think he's fun. It's fun to listen to him have these conversations with people. And I was able to be on the podcast with him last year, and it was a lot of fun to just kind of see how he comes in and sets things up and just jumps in and has this conversation. Right. And it's really cool. And he talks to tons of different people that kind of run the spectrum. And I think I really like Zach a lot, and I love what he's doing, and kind of just he's a great guy. He's like a big teddy bear. He's awesome.
Yes.
And I love what he's doing with the podcast. So that is the one that I listen to that talks about being a bigger person on a somewhat regular basis.
Yeah.
I would say the other one, aside from that even has anything to do with that, I just subscribed to, which is a Pretty Big Deal with Ashley Graham. And I specifically subscribed to that because I met Ashley Graham when I got to do the photo shoot thing.
Lucky you.
Yes. So, and I mean, she's interviewing people that are like Serena Williams and, you know.
Well, she's a big name. So.
Yeah. So she's able to do that.
Right. So that was, what was that called?
It's called Pretty Big Deal with Ashley Graham.
I'm writing that down.
Yeah, and she seems to do it in kind of seasons. So
okay,
we don't believe in that here at Heavy Conversation.
Well, not yet, anyways.
We're just gonna
talk,
keep
and
doing
talk
it
and talk.
Yep. So yeah, I think it's interesting. I really like, and I think probably everybody likes, or most people like podcasts for this, but I like podcasts that kind of let you see what it's like to be in someone else's shoes in their world. Mm-hmm. And I especially like it when they're just kind of having real conversations where it's not scripted and it's not this thing that is kind of put together.
Yeah, it's not produced and
yeah,
so heavily produced.
And I think so. The Ashley Graham podcast is interesting because one of the episodes that I never thought that I would really be that interested in was with Kim Kardashian.
Oh boy.
And she's just talking about like stories that are things that would never be newsworthy or anything like that, but it's just they just kind of shoot the shit and just kind of talk, you know. And that is always really interesting to me because I'd rather know more about what people are really like on a day-to-day basis. So I like that about hers. I like that about Zach's.
Nice.
Another one, I'll throw out one more and then stop because I know you've got some as well.
That's fine.
Armchair Expert with Dax Shepard is actually a good one. And I'm sure that it's becoming huge. It's like Dax Shepard is an actor. He is married to Kristen Bell.
Ooh.
Yes. And he has this podcast where he's bringing in guests that they're not all people that he knows, but there are a lot of actors, musicians, interesting people like that. And he's talking to them about real things. He is he's a recovering alcoholic. Okay. He's been sober for 14 years, something like that. So some of that plays into it. He's very open and he's very willing to talk about, honestly, like he's willing to be who he is and talk about, his flaws and a lot of things that people who are in the public eye at that level aren't willing to do.
Yeah, they don't want to. Yeah,
he's got a co-host, Monica Padman, who is, I mean, she's really cool, and she's able to, she knows him very well, and they'll go back and forth, and he's not always right about everything that he says, but he's open and he's able to be honest, and he's if he messes up or whatever, he claims it. The interviews are really interesting because when he talks to people, these guests, they're talking about real things. They're not talking about, what's your latest project? And, it's not entertainment tonight.
It's not just to sell whatever movie they're on or.
Yeah. And so it is really interesting to me to just kind of, I like that. I like learning more about, people's day to day and their experiences and how they got where they are and what that means to them. Not just, okay, you've arrived and everything's great. Like, what's behind that? Mm-hmm. I think those things are compelling to me. So those are three that I'll start with here. Okay. But what about you?
So I do listen to like a lot of startup podcasts, just hearing other people's stories and their struggles and their successes and that kind of stuff. I relate to that stuff, starting Bearskin and just getting ideas or seeing how other people are doing things or, seeing that I'm not alone in my struggles or, successes, all that kind of stuff. So, let me see. I can't even think of the names of them. I think there was a Shopify Masters one because we use the platform that we have our company on. It's called Shopify.
Nice.
You may or may not have heard of that, but it's this huge e-commerce platform. So
it's what you sell your products.
Yeah, it's what we use to sell and, do all that stuff. So I listen to that. So it kind of gives ideas and tips about how to use Shopify or stories about people that are using it. So it's kind of fun. I like that one. What else? I do Freakonomics.
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoy that. They're just really unusual stories, or I don't know. They're really cool. It sounds more technical than it actually is, but it's just like these in-depth stories about, I don't know. I can't even, they're so varied.
Huh.
The stories are so varied in interviews and stuff like that. Like,
interesting.
What else?
One along those lines that I've listened to, that I have right here is How I Built This. It's the NPR podcast where they talk to everybody. David Neilman from JetBlue Airways, the lady who started Canva, Bonobo's Andy Dunn, Five Guys, all these different people who tell it's like their oral history of starting their thing, which is interesting.
My like favorite one I do is called Planet Money from NPR.
Oh, yes.
It's another just random cool stories. Like I listened to one the other day about what is it, like meatless meat? It's called the Impossible Burger.
Oh, yeah.
And like how this guy came up with it, and he uses the nodules of soybeans, these root nodules to do. It was so weird, but I was like, I want an Impossible Burger now. Like, I want to go try this meatless meat thing. And there was like an interview with the representative from the Cattle Farmers Association, blah, 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 or Cattlemen's Association, whatever, and how they're like going to sue this guy because they're calling it meat and it's not really meat. And I was just like, oh my goodness.
There are some new laws about that in certain states where only real meat.
I don't even know if I want to talk about it because I don't want the cattlemen. I don't want to be like Oprah and get sued by the cattle people and the meat people. But I'm all about meat alternatives. So.
I ate vegan barbecue here in Portland yesterday, and I had these tofu curls.
Tofu curls.
It tasted like
what were they
chicken.
Supposed to be? Okay, chicken.
They were really good.
Okay.
They were kind of like pieces of chicken almost. They were these curls, and they had barbecue sauce on them. The barbecue sauce was amazing.
Have you tried? There's a vegan food truck right outside our office.
Oh, really?
The Bearskin office over there.
Ooh.
And they have like really weird hours, but they're awesome.
Really?
The vegan taco truck. It's great. And they're not like crazy expensive or anything. They're really good.
I'm ready
it just tastes like a normal taco food truck thing.
I like that.
What else? Planet Money. I mean, I don't know. They just do anything about Bitcoins. Who started the wildfires? I don't know. Just talking about the government shutdown, and I don't know, just anything. They just have such weird, but they have these weird angles. They get these weird angles on stories, or like not they don't focus on maybe the headline, but like the story underneath. I don't know. It's just, they're very interesting, and they're not terribly long. So it's a short commute.
I like that.
Yeah. These are like 20 minutes, 30 minutes max, I think. But I love Planet Money.
Another one that will take us into the next segment of our podcast here is the official Untapped podcast. It's called Drinking Socially.
What? How do I not know about that?
Yes, and they have
Drinking Socially.
They have 50 episodes.
Drinking. I'm adding it to Drinking Socially.
Mm-hmm. The history of beer in Brazil, the history of wheat wine.
Subscribe.
Belgian style triple. I mean, all kinds of everything. If you love beer and you love Untapped, like
how did I miss that they have a podcast?
Yeah,
Jody.
Speaking of which, we need to.
I was gonna say I'm getting this beer.
Beer time.
So as I've talked about before, the Pacific Northwest is very IPA heavy.
Yes.
But this one is from Deschutes. This is called Pacific Wonderland Lager.
Ooh.
But it is hoppy. It's very hoppy. So I've been trying to, it says, inspired by the Pacific Northwest, this unexpected dry hopped lager gets its light citrusy twist from Mandarin Bavarian hops.
Ooh.
It's an IBU of 40 and alcohol of 5.5%. So it's not.
Let's do this.
It's not very. Ooh. Oh boy.
Yep.
Watch out, everyone.
All right.
That one got a little
explosive beer.
A little shaken, not stirred.
It's all right. That is okay. Oh, look at that. That's a good looking beer.
Yeah.
There you go.
Do the expert pour here.
Yeah.
I've had a few years of experience.
We're enjoying this from a B cup.
Oh, yes, B cups. Here's a little sip for you.
Our plastic craft cups for craft beer. They are cups that are made in different shapes, like the kind of beer glasses that you're used to drinking your fancy beers in. So they have one that's made for funk. They have one for IPA. They have one for stout. And is the other one for ale?
Yeah,
lager? Lager.
Ale or lager. I think it's the same.
Yeah. So they're all different shapes. They're plastic, which means that they're easy to take around, very portable, work for just about everything that you might want to do. And you don't have to worry about dropping them and breaking them, which is always my nightmare scenario. So very nice, dishwasher safe, recyclable. I don't know why you'd get rid of them, but if you decide you need to recycle one, maybe if you broke one, I mean, you're not going to be starting any bar fights with these glasses. Not like you could break one on the end of the...
Well, you're not going to shank someone with it, but you could still throw it at someone.
Can't do that. So I guess you could throw one. That might, yeah.
Full of beer, I'd fight you.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Maybe.
Don't waste the beer.
No, that's horrible.
So this says it's this, I already forgot the name.
Pacific
Wonderland Lager by Deschutes. It's light, clean, smooth, hoppy, and dry are the big descriptors for that.
Well, I just took my first drink, and I would say it's light, clean, smooth, hoppy, and dry.
Oh, wow. They did a bang-up job on this.
Mm-hmm. Not bad.
Citrusy, something... I think I said mandarin, but there's some other kind of hops. Mandarinina? I don't know.
Oh, nice.
Bright character of a traditional lager to deliver a beer that is truly refreshing and undoubtedly worth sharing.
I feel like maybe one of the reasons that we have so many IPAs here in the Pacific Northwest, and if someone living in the Pacific Northwest who knows beer much better than I do can chirp in on this, chime in. Chirp in.
I was like, how do you chirp in?
It's a new thing.
Is that what you do on Twitter?
Yes.
You chirp in?
You tweet in. Yep. I think we have so many IPAs because we have a lot of hops. Hops grow here very easily. I remember
Is it something to do with like the soil pH and stuff? Or does it do something different with the hops?
I don't really know. I just know that maybe
the Untapped podcast will explain that.
Maybe. The first place that I lived when we moved to Portland, we had hops growing in our yard, which I thought was amazing. And I never did anything constructive with them, but it was great to see them growing and be able to, know that they were there. I believe they smelled,
Yeah, they have that funky smell to them, I think. Mm-hmm. But I really like this one.
So this is good, yeah.
Pacific Wonderland Lager.
It's easy drinking for sure.
Yeah, it's shareable, drinkable.
Great.
What was that? Oh, there was a word for the shareable. Remember that?
Was there? Shareable.
Oh, anyways.
Was there? Well.
Too much beer. Can't remember.
Yeah, this is good.
Light, crisp, clean, smooth, hoppy. I'm checking in on the Untapped app.
Yes, we have our
list of all the beers. So go download the Untapped app from your app store or whatever and follow Heavy Conversations beer list.
Yes.
So you can follow along and try to follow along and get these amazing beers that we're getting.
Yes, indeed.
See what we like or don't like, or what I like. I guess it's my ratings on these.
You're doing my a great job. Yes. And if you have beer recommendations for us, please let us know. If there are certain beers, we're obviously in the Pacific Northwest, so we get a lot of this kind of stuff. But we're totally open to beers from different places. We've had listeners send us beer.
Oh, yes, that's right. If you want to send us beer, we are totally willing to
drink it.
So just what did you say? Chirp in,
tweet in, chirp in.
Chirp,
is that it? Yeah.
Chirp at us, and we'll send you a nice address to send those to us.
Yep.
We did have someone comment that he loves our podcast. He's not a big beer drinker, and he wants us to do some scotch, I think.
Ooh.
And so we might have to do a scotch episode or
try that.
A bourbon or I think we did a little whiskey for a holiday episode. So
yeah,
we're game to try other things, but
we are indeed. I like that.
So what other? I do listen to the Rachel Maddow show every morning just to try to get some news, find out what else is burning down or whatever
horrible thing is happening today.
I try to, sometimes I take a break for a while, but I still try to know what's going on in the world.
That's nice. It helps kind of keep you in the loop. Yeah. I listened to you know what? I was wrong. I said that I don't listen to any other body positive podcasts.
Oh, yes.
I do from time to time listen to Dietitians Unplugged, which is a podcast that I was on the podcast.
Oh.
It's
you've been on. We should list all the podcasts you've been on. That would be a list.
Please listen to all the episodes of the podcast that I was on. But they talk about all kinds of interesting things around being body positive and kind of the intersection of like, I don't know, kind of getting rid of, you don't have to follow the scale. Dietitians don't have to be a certain way for you to really follow them.
Yeah.
They've done, I don't know, 50 episodes, something like that. And it's Aaron Flores and Glynis. I'm sorry if I'm going to mess up your last name, but I'm pretty sure it's Oyston. Glynis Oyston.
Yeah.
And they're awesome. Each episode, they talk about topics that they hope will help you improve your health, your body image, and fitness without obsessing about losing weight or anything like that. So basically what they're doing is, they're making fitness this thing that isn't tied in with weight loss. So that it's about being active to be active and enjoy it.
Okay.
They're kind of taking a lot of the stigma and the crap that goes into, all of that kind of stuff, and they're making it interesting, and they're talking about things that people don't talk a lot about. So,
nice.
Yeah, we're getting toward the end of our time for this episode.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw out a couple more.
Sure. I think I listed the ones that I do mostly. A
couple other fat guys or former fat guys that have podcasts I listen to. Fat Man Beyond, which is one of Kevin Smith's 3,280 podcasts that he does. It's an interesting one where they talk pop culture and geeky stuff. So I always love that. And the thing I will say about Kevin Smith is that he is totally open and willing to talk about his love for whatever the thing is, whether it's comics or movies or whatever, and how that makes him feel. And I think there's real value to being open like that and being okay and being willing to do that. So it's interesting.
Exactly.
I like that a lot.
You get a little bit of more about him, not just projects and whatever.
And so it's Kevin Smith and it's Mark Bernardin, and they both kind of do their thing.
Yeah.
Dan Fogler, the actor, he was in
Beep, beep.
Excuse me. Pardon. He was in Fantastic Beasts.
Okay, I was like, I know that name. I can't.
He has a podcast, and it is the trippiest, craziest, like drug-induced thing that you'll ever hear.
Do you have to be?
No, you don't.
Under the influence?
No, but it can help.
Okay.
I also listen to, there's a DJ on Sirius.
You listen to a lot.
I have a lot that I kind of like to jump through.
Okay.
Yeah. Ginny LSQ, who is she's a writer, a DJ. She's been around for forever.
Okay.
And she does a lot of things with like the independent music scene. Well, I shouldn't say that because she does a little bit of everything with music journalist.
Okay.
She does these long form interviews through her new podcast that's just called LSQ.
Okay.
Talks to a lot of people that make music that I'm interested in. So like Kurt Vile, the dude from Dirty Projectors, Beck,
nice.
Beyonce. Yeah, I mean, it runs the spectrum.
Queen Bee.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of everything. And it's really cool to get into those. I like long form interviews that are devoid of the crap that we normally hear in interviews. Yeah. So
nice. And that was which one?
That was LSQ. Is what that podcast was called. Cool. I've got more, but I'm going to stop there. I know.
You do have a lot.
I was like, when we started this, I thought I don't really have have that many podcasts that I listen
I was
to.
like, I only listen to a handful.
I know.
But the ones I do are like NPR ones, so they're like every day.
So you've got...
So there's a lot to do.
Yeah.
A lot to listen to.
Dawn Sarah does a podcast called Sex Gets Real that is awesome, and it runs the spectrum of everything. I love her. She does some great stuff. Maybe we can put up a list somewhere that has, because this is getting out of control.
Yes. Yeah,
right.
Bruce, calm down with your podcast over there.
So we've done it. Now you have like 70 years of podcasts to listen to.
But subscribe to Heavy Conversation right now. And hey, leave us a rating. Let us know what you think of our podcast. What should we be talking about? What, Tell your friends. Tell your friends.
Send us questions.
All this stuff. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. We want to know what you want to hear.
Yep.
Subscribe, like, share, all those fun things.
That's right.
And we'll see you, or you'll hear us next week.
Yep, that's right. We'll shout out you again.
Bye, Bruce.
Bye. Thanks for listening to Heavy Conversation. Be sure to like and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your
podcasts. Podcasts.